Well, what do you think, Mr. Worf?
Good tea. Nice house.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo.
Jeff and I are huge Star Trek nerds. Dory's a Star Trek novice, and we are taking her on our first journey through Star Trek The Next Generation. Today, we're talking about the Season 3 episode, The Survivors. Original air date, October 7th, 1989. And as always, we'll take it to Dory for the recap.
Okay. Can we just start off? Genocide.
Yeah.
What?
You were right. You were 100% right.
I'm disappointed, but also they right at the end they snuck it in.
I know, right?
Right
It was
at
the
end.
reveal.
I was like, am I gonna get away with this? Is this no genocide? And then
No,
guess what?
genocide.
Yeah. So close. So close. Okay. Man, this was a lot in an episode. Okay. So the team gets a notification or something that a distress call.
Team gets an email.
Yeah. So they get a distress call that this colony is under attack by an unidentified spacecraft. So they don't really see anything, but when they get there, but they're like, all right, let's check it out. Supposed to be 11,000 people were a part of the colony. Troy doesn't sense anyone. Troy's got a new outfit also. It is great. I don't love the hairband, mostly because I'm not much of a hairband person, but the teal looks beautiful on her.
Oh, yes. This is, I think this is my favorite Troy outfit with the asymmetrical neckline.
That bothered me.
Really?
I didn't like that it was asymmetrical. It bothered me so much because it was only a little bit asymmetrical, and it just made me want to be I guess I wasn't sure for a lot of the episode if I was seeing things or not.
Okay, this might not.
And then I
this
realized
might not be the dress I'm thinking of, because she has another teal dress where the neckline is very obviously asymmetrical.
I mean, this was cute. I think the color looks amazing on her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Dr. C's hair looked great. Okay. All right. So they search the planet and they find one structure in the middle of this vegetation.
Mm-hmm.
So they gather the away team. Oh, and right from the start, Troy's like, these people are different. There's something off. But the away team is Riker, Dr. C, Geordi, Worf, and Data. So they land on this patch of grass, and the way that they go arrive on the planet makes it look like they're part of a video game.
They are.
And also I made a note, they're outside for real. That's what it looks like.
They filmed it at a house in Malibu.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at them. So okay, Geordi unfortunately, they're looking around to see if there's anything sketchy on the land, and Geordi notices something on the ground a little too late for Riker to step on it. It's basically a little trap, in which Riker, this rope goes around his foot. He's held upside down on this pole, but it looks like the pole is covered in pool noodles that have been dissected. So when he hits the pole, it doesn't look painful. And so then we meet the people who live in the house. It is Kevin and Rashawn Uxbridge. They've been together for 53 years. And they don't know why they say they don't know why they've been left behind, why they managed to not be killed. So I noticed their carpet was pink, and then later on we see the interior with Troy, and the carpet is also pink. So lots of pink carpet going around in this episode. So Data sees this music box. He opens it. He's listening. He's fascinated by the music. And from the ship, Troy starts to hear the music in her head. And her whole bit absolutely broke my heart.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was hard to watch.
The short version, is Troy just cannot get this music out of her head. And it's not a dream. It's literally just this same melody playing, and it's driving her like it's super distressing, and it just keeps escalating, and she's trying to put on like a brave face, but it's really truly messing with her to the point where Dr. C has to sedate her and like put her in a coma so she can have some relief. And it is like when there's a part where she's at the mirror and she's like crying, and it's so heartbreaking. The actress did a fucking amazing job at like losing it like that, but just my God, it was so upsetting watching Troy suffer like that. But there is a reason why she was hearing the music, which we'll get to that later. Okay, so Kevin and Rashawn are like kind of being a little sketchy, although like Kevin basically admits that he is Picard decides that he wants to speak with them himself, so him and Worf go down, and Kevin admits, because Picard has like a theory that, you know, why, like there's obviously a reason why they were not killed. And so Kevin admits that when there was like the attack, he didn't go fight, and Rashawn admits that she would have gone to fight, but she stayed with Kevin. Kevin says that he has a special conscience, which confused me initially, but then made, I don't know if it made more sense later, or I don't know. I was confused initially. So others fought, he did nothing. And, meanwhile, this like warship shows up and it's like shooting back and forth between the Enterprise and whatnot.
He's like a strict pacifist, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite strict.
I mean,
not that strict.
I mean, in theory.
Yeah.
Those are his principles.
There honestly, there's like a lot of back and forth, but what it comes down to, basically, this episode, a lot of shit goes back and forth. I actually quite enjoyed this, but I'll bring it all together. So Kevin is he's not a human. Kevin is a Dowd, which is an immortal being of disguises and false surroundings. Basically, this group called the Husnock, this species, they show up and they're really aggressive and they start attacking. The people of the colony, they start to, they're trying to defend themselves, they're fighting back. Rashawn is one of them, and all these people die. So basically everybody on the planet dies. Since Kevin is immortal, he obviously does not die. But he is so like distraught by his wife's death that he genocides all of the Husnocks, which I think they said 50 million people.
50 billion.
So, 50 billion. Yeah. Sorry. My bad. So just like casually in his anger kills 50 billion people.
I killed them all. Not just the men, but the women
children,
and the children
the
too.
women and children too. Fuck.
Yeah.
Good quote.
So he fully just like commits genocide.
Yep.
And he then like the Rashawn that we meet throughout the episode is not real. It's basically a projected image, whatever. Kevin makes it up. In the house, like makes it up, and this like returning warship that like fights with the Enterprise, it's not real. He's made it up because he's trying to get them to leave, so he can just like live out his life with fake Rashawn,
and so that they don't find out about the genocide.
Yeah, he says throughout most of the episode, he just says, I will not kill, bro. You did a pretty big kill. So like, yeah.
Well, he did it like, that's why he's like so ashamed of himself. It's because he had this principle he thought that he was strict about, and you know, he ended up not only violating his principle, but like mega violating it.
Yeah.
Ultra kill.
Yeah, and also the thing that like really gets especially Dr. C, which honestly, this is why I was so happy for Dear Dr. C is back, because nobody else like Picard will call people out on shit, but like Dr. C will take it to like a whole different thing. She gives no shits. And she basically, Kevin admits that he had the power to, get rid of the Husnock and all the 11,000 people would have been fine. But he chose to not do anything, and he chose to not save them. He chose to just let everything happen. So, yeah, he got a whole different... He ended up in this shitty situation because he did. I mean, it wasn't a great situation to start, but it's like there's a difference between like defending like your home, like in the way, like in this particular situation versus just, killing 50 billion people.
Yeah.
That's
Also, you didn't have to, like, you could have protected them without killing. Like, there were
where's a fucking shield?
Yeah.
If he can create a house, where's a shield?
Yeah, there's, like, many different options besides killing that you could have done to help.
Yeah, it was a very, like, flawed logic. And then we end the episode with Picard saying that he's not sure if Kevin should be praised or condemned.
Yeah, that was a
Left alone.
weird line.
I'm pretty sure there is an answer to that,
Yeah,
and it's condemned. He killed 50 billion people.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard on the condemn end of that.
Yeah. This was like, I'll be honest, I actually really liked this episode. It felt very like whodunit because I had no idea. I kept trying to guess throughout watching.
You had no idea who done it.
Did they this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not know that that it was all. I mean, it feels kind of like you pulled it out of your ass kind of thing. But I do enjoy the way that Picard like tried to figure it out. But when he came down for the second visit to the planet, it felt very soap opera.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way he just like did his dialogue. I probably shouldn't have laughed at it, but I did. But yeah, I enjoyed the like whodunit of it, and I liked again that they had like one central, like it's central, but then there is like a small side plot. Oh yeah, Kevin like takes away the music from Troy, and the reason that he put the music on Troy is because she was the only one who'd be able to figure out that he was like not everything was what it seemed. So he purposely musicked her.
Yeah, which is also incredibly fucked up.
Yeah, Kevin fucking, this has been like the first 3 episodes of this season has just been like people who just are absolute trash bags.
Yeah.
Just dumpster fires of people.
I also like the thing for like dramatic purposes, I get why at the end Picard was like, I don't know if we're qualified to be your judge. I don't know if we have a law that fits your crime. And
I mean, it's genocide.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
no, I'm like,
there's laws about that.
Yeah,
like,
does the Federation have no like war crimes statutes? Like,
I guess.
Yeah, like hello, Geneva Convention.
Yeah,
like, pick up the phone. There's been a
hello,
crime.
Khitomer Accords. I think it's like that ending is so bizarre. Because like the episode in general, I find that most of it seems to carry along pretty decently, but I found myself criticizing it more than I was praising it, even though I was still enjoying it. Like when I was writing down what was going on about it. So like for instance, when Picard was being all vague with the crew about what he was doing in handling the what do you call it, in handling the mystery in that last bit there, and he's just like not telling anyone anything. He's just like, nope, don't take any actions, nope, just hang back, everything's cool. And it's like, okay, just say,
yeah, like, do you want to share
I think
like,
something's fucked up. Just say it. Don't be vague.
Just
Don't be
like,
weirdly dramatic.
Yeah.
You could also just say, like, listen, I have a plan. I'll tell you what's necessary, but, like, I have a plan. Like, that's simple. He didn't have to share it. Just be like, I have a plan.
Yeah.
That's, like, as simple. Yeah.
You're not very reassuring to the crew there.
I mean, when that enemy ship shows up for the first time, I don't know if you guys recall, but Picard is, like, basically amused.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
remember.
weird.
Yeah, it was a very strange take. So, like, I don't know. This episode has a couple of strange issues. So, for the record, out of the 4 episodes that Michael Wagner, the current showrunner, worked on, this is the only one that he wrote. And, like I said, he's replaced by Michael Piller not long after this. He just didn't feel like he was meshing with the writer's room very well, and if this episode is any indication, even though the like it is a little rougher than the previous episode, I think it still carries pretty well.
Oh yeah, it did kind of feel a little bit like a TOS plot to me.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, I don't know if you noticed, but the premise
did a lot of like godlike being stuff.
Yeah, the premise of, hey, we're here on this planet. We don't want to leave. Well, we're not going to make you leave. Very similar to the previous episode, except for the we're not going to make you leave part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I wrote in my notes somewhere of like, can we not have a plot where we're telling people to leave?
Yeah, pretty much.
Season 3, every episode is just going to be like, maybe you need to leave your home right now.
Yeah.
Just different ways. Different things are going to threaten the home.
Didn't you know that's what Star Trek's actually about? Like
getting people to leave their homes.
Yeah, like I know that he's all like, oh, to seek out new life. No, it's to make people leave. Don't you get it? To seek out a new life. You gotta find a new place to live.
Can't believe it, didn't realize it.
Hey man, that's what Star Trek's always been about.
Getting people out of their homes.
That's right. Which doesn't explain why it was popular during COVID, because, like, you know, or maybe it does explain it, because people wanted to get out of their homes.
What?
I mean,
what was popular during COVID?
People watching Star Trek on Netflix.
Oh, maybe that's because of us.
Yeah, maybe.
It's literally just the two. It's our show. Guys, keep watching. Tune in every week.
I do have friends who started watching the show because of the podcast.
You mean listening to? God.
What did I say?
You said watching the show. No. She's right. She
no,
said
watching. Yeah, watching TNG.
Oh.
Because of our podcast.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. We're getting that Netflix views.
How are they enjoying TNG so far? Oh.
Good.
Oh,
I think.
okay. You paused there. I'm just like, uh-oh.
I was just thinking, like, do I have, like, I think right now I only have, like, a few friends who've given me, like, responses to the show. The podcast, I get good responses. The show, however, mixed.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, especially if they're in those first 2 seasons, right?
Yeah. Now that I've gone through it, it is a slog.
Yeah.
But worth it. I mean, even, like, that's the thing. Even these first 3 episodes have been better than a lot of the nonsense. Because even if, like, these aren't, like, the best episodes of season 3, they're better than some of the shit episodes.
It's amazing how quickly
Season 1 and 2.
it got better, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It felt so much more cohesive. And even, like, once again, there was, like, Troy's plot and the main plot still connected. And I appreciated that.
Yeah.
I did not like watching her suffer, because it seems like every time she gets, like, a major role in an episode, it's for her to suffer.
Yeah.
Did not like that. I would really like for her to have, like, a nice episode where some nice things happen to her.
Well, there was that one where she didn't fall in love.
Oh, yeah. That was, to be fair, though, that probably was not a good time.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
fair.
Which episode was this?
The weird romantic one.
With the wedding or whatever.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You know, 4 weddings and a funeral.
Yeah.
I this is like a really weird side note thing, but I do find it very funny that we have that with the names. So we have, like, a pretty basic name like Kevin, and then we get
Rashawn.
Yeah.
Quite
which is, like, very random. Like, it's not a bad name. It's just very random.
Well,
and then we've just got Kevin.
I think because he was like a god being thing pretending to be human, so I think he was overcompensating.
So he's like, what's this? What's, like, the most basic? His middle name is Steven.
Yeah.
Like, what's just a super generic, like, common name I could just use?
Kevin Stephen Smith.
Nice.
Uxbridge.
Or
yeah. Or I wonder if Uxbridge was her last name, because when Rashawn introduces her, like, they say like Rashawn Uxbridge and Kevin or something in the episode. Like, I didn't think of anything at that time, but now in retrospect,
oh yeah,
Kevin doesn't have a last name. Because like they call them the Uxbridges, but what if it's Rashawn's last name?
It
could be.
It is a progressive show.
I mean, I guess, yeah, to a point.
I'd have to say, I don't think there's quite a lot to say about this episode.
Yeah, I think there was like blocks of where I actually just like, I only have 2 pages of notes, which is little for me. I think it just like stuff, I think like the pacing was decent. It just like kept going. So I think I really just stopped a few times to write down like a couple of quotes or something. No, wait, maybe one quote. I don't know. I think it just like, also stuff kept happening so like back and forth that there wasn't, like in my recap, I don't need to go explain point by point of how many times they went back and forth.
Yeah.
Summarizing this out of most episodes makes more sense. Yeah. Kevin kind of sucks. I'm a little bummed that my theory was not accurate. I mean, he did technically end up being I think I said like there are criminals on the run.
You said that
Kevin
they were
technically
like
they
mad
were scientists,
yeah.
but they stole something and then like were on the run and they made a planet. You could say, I mean, I'm reaching, but Kevin stole the lives of 50 billion people. So no, that is a reach.
No, no, you actually can't
no, Kevin
say that.
sucks. I mean, the other part of it, I just said genocide. Man, can we not have a genocide?
Yeah. Because I can't even think of like something philosophical to talk about because it's pretty like, honestly, it's pretty black and white.
It is.
For this
it is.
particular
Kevin
episode.
did bad thing. The end.
Yep. You should be in prison for war crimes.
That is the whole episode. All right, that's done. We're wrapped up.
Yeah.
Tune in next week. I actually wanted to I wanted to criticize a little bit the portrayal of Rashawn because like we've actually seen or we will see this actress again in Star Trek. I can't remember if it's in TNG
And in Liar
as
Liar.
well. Yep, also in Liar Liar. You see her in DS9. She's actually a very good actress. The fact that she's in her 50s here and playing someone in her 80s is a little, but you know, old people be old, I guess.
I did think it was wild when they're like, oh, they're 80s. I was like, these two are in their, they look incredible for being in their 80s.
Yeah, exactly. So I did not like her portrayal very much, and I think that wasn't due to her. That was due to the writing. And the writing made her out to be this kind of aloof 50s housewife. And I was really not digging that. And like, I understand that, you know, maybe that's how some people will be. But the fact that she was like, oh, I know there's been a genocide, but like, you just come in and have some tea. And it's like, you're not.
She doesn't know about genocide.
What?
She doesn't know about the genocide.
No, sorry. No,
She
everyone else on the planet is dead. She knows
the
that.
11,000 people.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, at the beginning,
I also,
it's like, oh, like, we haven't heard anything from anybody. Like, we don't know if, like, it's implied they, like, at least she's, the Rashawn that he's made up is pretending that she doesn't know how many, my brain is broken.
She seems absent-minded in general beyond just that scene, and that kind of frustrated me. I know that they were going for like he's created her, therefore she's like not entirely, you know, of herself, and like that is an excuse that you can make for it. But she was behaving opposite to him in many occasions.
Yeah.
Throughout the episode, which kind of implied that while he may have, you know, created her himself, she did have her own free will in that creation.
Yeah, I think so. I think, I think he created an idealized version of her.
Yeah,
like,
I could agree with that.
He still, like, knows, like, in his heart, like, that she would be opposite to him in certain respects. But there's also that part of him that's, like, built in this, like, that she's gonna stick with him no matter what.
Yeah, because one of the things I thought was kind of suspicious is that every time somebody says something to Kevin, she's always like, "You're hurting him.
Yeah.
Like you're upsetting him." And I was like, "There, nobody's doing anything. Like, calm down. What?" But like, yeah, she was so defensive of him when like anytime anybody said anything, she's like, she kept saying, "You're hurting him, you're upsetting him." I was like, no, what?
Yeah, why? How? Why is that
That's-
upsetting him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I just thought of, if Kevin is like all magic and shit, why did they have the most like basic trap set up in the front lawn?
Probably
Well, I
to
think-
make it believable for her.
Yeah. I think when he was saying like his backstory, I think he said he kind of like turned his back on his powers. Like I don't think he like actively used them after he met Rashawn.
Yeah.
But like at the house, like if it's just the two of them and he's already like did his genocide, then like he still was like, this
Well,
80s movie trap will work.
he might just be trying to maintain some semblance of the life he had before.
I mean, still was a weak trap.
Yeah. No, it definitely was. I mean, he couldn't think of anything better to protect the colonists than like genociding those guys. So
That's true.
he just couldn't think of a better trap than that.
Yeah, like why couldn't he do like a black hole or something to like zap the like Husnox away or whatever? Like
Yeah.
there's so many things he could have done that were not violent, but he just was like, fuck around and find out what happens. Like it
Send them to the Delta Quadrant.
send them to the Borg.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, if he's been around for thousands of years, chances are he may have heard of the Borg at
Yeah.
this point.
Well, I mean,
So,
he's basically a Q. Like, that's what his powers are.
Yeah. Oh, maybe he knows Q. Just send them to Q. Q will annoy the shit out of them. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things that Kevin could have done, but instead, he just did nothing and then
Yeah.
murdered too many people.
He killed them
Just
all.
Yeah. Oh my God. He just made a race extinct.
Yeah. That's what
That didn't-
genocide
oh.
is.
No, I know, but like, I don't think of it.
It just
like,
kind of hit you.
Yeah. Like, to me, genocide just seems like so detached from stuff. And then to just realize, like, oh, extinction? Whoa. Like, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Wow. Kevin. Kevin.
Yep.
Wow. I'm glad he feels guilty because you fully, like, I mean, even if they sucked, like, even if they were aggressive and, like, not all of them were going to be, like, murderous,
Yeah.
whatever.
Because you were just dealing with, like, the military of that species.
Yeah, this is also just, like, one ship. How many people were on that ship? And then he's like, well, revenge for my wife and 11,000 people.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't do a good job making us care about these aliens, especially with
Yeah.
Picard's response to it, which is just
I
like,
don't care
whoop.
about Kevin.
no, not Kevin
I'm-
specifically, but the aliens he genocided. Like, I have a hard time
Oh,
caring
yeah.
about them because we've never seen them. We don't know anything about them besides his extremely dehumanizing generalization, and
Yeah.
our character's response to it is one of them is like overly dramatic, like not in a oh my god way, but more like a melodrama way. And the other response is like, I don't know if he should be praised or condemned. Like, clearly this was not that important within
what
your
would
own
he be
universe.
praised for? Like,
Exactly.
What's the logic there?
I mean, his
Yeah.
trying to fit by his values and having a moment of weakness, which resulted in a death of 50 billion people. But, whatever, whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about
Or
it.
congratulations, you succeeded in a genocide.
Yeah.
Is that the praise he's thinking?
Yeah, he's saving future people by killing people. Oh, this is awkward.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's just bad. Like, I mean, this seems pretty easy, but like, just don't genocide people. I mean, don't kill people in general. That's like pretty not great, to say the least.
And I feel okay. So, So my preface is going to sound really bad, but... Now, there's no good excuse for genocide, but...
But...
But I feel like that scenario, it doesn't make sense that he, destroyed all of them. Like, okay, let's say they had conquered the planet and, were causing generations of suffering and that kind of thing. I could understand the motivation to want to just kill all of them, to see the whole race as an enemy. But, I don't know, this just seems like... It seems like it would be more of, a immediate, local, sort of directed anger. You know what I mean? I can understand maybe him, blasting away, every ship within the vicinity. But, I still don't... I don't know. Even as far as, dramatic reasoning, I still don't see why he killed them all.
So here's what I'm thinking about it. It's not explicitly said, unfortunately. So you gotta take the script on faith a little bit, which is the problem. But
faith of the heart.
I think it's kind of implied that he has some sort of previous experience with these people.
It does?
And killing them all is a response to how they've taken away the one thing that made him change or made him settle down, made him stop in his entire life of thousands of years. And that's meant to be more profound than it ends up being. And of course, like I said, it's not explicitly said.
Yeah, I definitely didn't get that at all.
I just mean that there may be an implication there. I'm not saying it's definitely there. That's what I picked up from it.
Yeah.
But the way he described them, maybe it was him describing them in anger. Maybe he was describing them from previous experience with them. I'm guessing that as somebody who is apparently thousands of years old, he would have come across them before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I said, a lot of it is taking the episode on faith, which kind of sucks. That's not a great way to write.
Yeah. You can definitely interpret it both those ways. I definitely didn't get that from it.
That's fair.
To me, it didn't seem like he had any previous experience with these people.
I think the downside is this writer's. It's like I said when I was going through it. I didn't think the episode was bad, but I ended up finding more wrong with it that stood out simply because it is flawed, and the ways that it's flawed take a well executed story and single out the issues with it.
Yeah. I honestly feel like this episode is a little pointless.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's just kind of...
it's definitely a well-crafted episode, mechanically.
Whoever directed this did a good job.
Yeah, it works as a story, I think. But just, in terms of, substance, it's, there's not really much there. It's
no.
This is fine.
Yeah.
It's usually a skip for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go into my my thing for a moment and see what this episode is under.
What your chart says?
Yeah, because I may want to reevaluate it, but I have a feeling that I didn't list it as a bad episode. I just watched it as, I listed it as an episode that's there, and you can skip it if you want because it's not important in any way.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've been saying, it's not a bad episode by any means, and I actually do think the mystery is well crafted.
I actually marked it as forgettable, which I very much agree with. Yeah.
I think so. This is definitely an episode you can skip if you want.
Yes.
It's you're not... I don't think you're going to... I don't think it's a waste of time necessarily, but it's it's good to have on in the background, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. And afterwards, it's, like I said, forgettable to me.
Yeah, I mean, the significance, I think, of this episode is Dr. C's hair looks great, and Troy got a new outfit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, this episode made me miss Geordie.
Oh, yeah.
We see him so little.
That's true, yeah.
I think we've just, you know what I have noticed? That we've spent so much time with, like, the guest actors this season that, like, the regular actors have been super neglected.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's a good point.
So that is, I wouldn't say that's like something to criticize about it, because that is something that happens throughout Star Trek, that they'll have episodes that focus on a guest character, and it will be something like this, where like the guest character gets a good amount of, like, the story revolves around them, which is great. It's not always like that. Some of the next few episodes are definitely similar to that, but more often than not, there'll actually be situations where it focuses on a guest character with one or two main cast members, and it ends up being an episode mostly about them. It's a story for them in the end. That wasn't the case here, obviously. This was kind of an ensemble piece and wasn't really about any of our particular characters. But, like, the last episode, I could definitely say was a Picard and Data episode, because each of the main stories focused very heavily on each of them.
And then the first episode was Wesley.
Yes, for sure.
But yeah, I hope there's more stuff with, with Geordie, with Worf.
I can tell you for sure there is a Geordie episode this season, at least one.
Yay!
There is at least one Worf episode this season.
Nice.
Yep. There's a real weird Troy episode this season that I won't say any more about.
I mean,
There's a real good Data
Honestly.
episode this season, even though we've already had a real good Data episode.
I mean, back to the Troy thing real quick. I mean, at this point, I'm just happy to get, whatever, as long as it's not, like, it can be weird, but as long as it's not fucked up.
That's fair,
like,
yeah.
I'll take an episode. I just, like, Troy needs, she needs to be there more.
Yeah.
Even, like, I'll take a Riker episode at this point. Like, Riker has been pretty, like, in the background for this season so far.
There's a Riker episode in this season as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
How many episodes are in this season?
24.
25, I think.
Oh, my
if
mistake.
everybody
It's
gets
26. I'm wrong.
Ah.
26. Oh, wow. So if everybody gets one episode, then we still have a fuck ton of episodes.
Yes.
That are just probably mostly Picard and
Holy
whoever
shit.
the guest stars.
There's 3 like Data episodes this season. I just realized. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, yeah, there's a pretty significant Geordie episode coming up.
There is.
Oh, yay. I don't think, like, the last episode we really got with, like, Geordie was, maybe, like, I mean, he had, like, a significant role in the, Sherlock Holmes episode in season 2. But prior to that...
Yeah, he hasn't been focused on yet. I would actually argue that while I do really like Geordie, you don't really get some real strong Geordie stuff until maybe later on in the series. And you'll find out why.
Man, there's some good
okay.
shit in this season.
Oh, yeah, the season's fucking fantastic. Can't tell you more, though.
I'm looking for the fact that there are, like, some good episodes with Geordie, because he's, like, severely neglected, and I enjoy him a ton.
Well,
And I'm also very much looking forward to Worf episodes. I love Worf.
maybe before we keep on talking about what's coming up, we should talk about what our favorite moments out of this episode were, because God,
Oh,
just talking about what's coming is certainly not the most exciting thing to listen to.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay,
Guys,
so
Star
I
Trek
have
gets
one-
really good, we promise. We're going to talk about how it gets good before we watch it getting good.
Yeah. That's the thing, but even the baseline for the less good episodes, it has heightened.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, my favorite line for this episode is so when the away team goes down to the planet, they're investigating the house for the first time, and Worf is standing with Kevin, and I forgot to mention, when they first meet them, Kevin comes out of the house with, like, a gun.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so Worf goes, "Sir, may I say your attempt to hold the away team at bay with a non-functioning weapon was an act of unmitigated gall?" And then Kevin goes, "Didn't fool you, huh?" And then Worf goes, "I admire gall." I love Worf.
Yeah.
Honestly, I I love Data, but I think like Worf is really edging up for like my favorite. I love Worf. He just, I don't know. He just makes me happy.
Yeah.
Even just like tiny throwaway things. I also like give a ton of credit to the actor's Michael Dorn.
Yeah.
Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, because like he just brings this like, I don't know, this something to
Je ne sais quoi.
yeah, to Worf
what.
that is yeah, I think it's like because Worf in theory could be like he's such like a grumpy Gus.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some like he just brings this charisma to Worf that like he's just like fun and has like Worf has his little quirks.
Yeah.
That just you end up being surprised every time Worf is amused by something.
He's almost, it's weird. He's at points he's almost like a straight man to like the absurdity that is Star Trek.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know he's the straight man.
Yeah.
And I think that's like why it works is that he like is, but then at the same time he'll like pull something really ridiculous out of his ass that I love.
And like other times he's like
great.
the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other half of that of like the vaudeville pair is called. I just know there's
I'm
the
not
straight
sure.
man.
Good tea.
Nice
House.
I didn't realize that was a real quote because you
Oh,
used to have it
yes.
up on the fridge in our old apartment.
Of course I did. It's a great quote.
Yeah.
On that note, my favorite moment, while that one is a very close second, my favorite moment ends up being a fuck up in the script.
Oh yeah.
So when they're getting attacked for the first time, Worf notes to them that the shields are down, and then the ship fires again, and he immediately announces that the shields are down. And wow, okay, shields are down twice, great, good job. So anyway, Picard comes up with a plan. They start trying to fire off its bow. The thing shoots at them again, and sir, shields are down. Worf, that's 3 times in like 30 seconds. We heard you the first time.
He really just wants everybody to know the shields are down.
Or he didn't say anything when the shields came back up.
That's possible, but I think it's more likely just it was a drama fuck up when they were writing it, or maybe it was like an excitement in the moment, like they shot a longer scene and ended up cutting a bunch or something. But like, either way, the little bit of a screw up, guys. I know it's really just a continuity error and it's not important, and they have those all the time in Star Trek. But like, oof.
Yeah. My favorite bit is it's a little bit of a bummer. It's basically like Marina Sirtis' performance when she's like having like the intrusive like music in her head. I just thought that was
fantastic in that moment.
Yeah,
she's
all
so
moments.
good.
Yeah, it's just like those intrusive thoughts that just won't stop, and there's like nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I think like the best part of that, like in terms of like her acting, was when she's freaking out in the bathroom and then Picard comes in and she's trying to like compose herself, but you can see she's like going through it, and he immediately like she like fluffs her hair and like tries to compose herself while being like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
Yeah.
And he comes in, and even though she looks like calm, he immediately is like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And then I'm glad she told him. I'm glad she didn't continue to like internalize it. But that was some good acting of like her trying to pretend everything is fine when she's like
Very clearly
falling
not.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, that was really good. Okay, so let's get on to predictions for the next episode. So the next episode is called Who Watches the Watchers? And your tidbit is that Picard accidentally becomes a god to a pre-warp civilization.
Maggie, that is quite possibly the best summation of this episode I have heard, and I was really hoping you would go in that direction with it.
That makes me think of
What?
the title. It's like the Watchmen line. It's like, who watches the Watchmen?
Well, yeah, it is an actual line.
From the comic.
Yeah.
From the comic book that just I don't know the order. I don't know how long ago the comic came out, but who watches the Watcher? Oh God. Okay, so he becomes a god.
Not literally, but they see him as a god.
Yeah, they worship him as a god. Yeah. Okay, I would assume. Okay, it's got to be something technology based because if they're a pre-warp group, then maybe their technology is not as evolved as the Enterprises. So like he must do something with their tech that like is totally normal for. Oh my God, I wonder if it's like replicator based, or he just like it's like creating something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to be technology related. Okay, so maybe there's a planet. Obviously, there's the planet, and they're having an issue, maybe with like a building, maybe something structure related. I'm gonna try to just like change it up from my own shit right now. So maybe something like a building that's having some structural issues. That like is in danger of collapsing, which will be a huge issue. So there's like a distress call. They come to the planet, and Picard he decides that like he wants to go down for whatever reason, and he uses this particular tool that is like a very easy fix for the Enterprise, for the crew, but it's so foreign to the inhabitants of the planet that like because he's just like, there we go, all done, really easy fix. They just misinterpret it as like he's got the power to like fix a building or fix their problem or something, and maybe he's got other tech that like solves other issues in their planet, and that's what makes them think he's a god, because he can just do shit that they don't have the technology to do yet. Yeah, is that enough to go on for a prediction?
I think so. Jeff?
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
Alrighty. So, if you want to see if Dory's correct, watch along with us and join us next time for the next episode of Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.